So today is Father's Day. And I've been greeting many of you on the way in, a happy Father's Day and all the benefits that come with it. But I have a story about my dad. It's probably my favorite story about my dad. And I know I've said it in past years, but when you get to be 66, you forget how long ago you said it. So I'm going to say it again. But if you don't remember it, enjoy it. So it's a good story. It's a true story. My father, was in World War II. When we came back from World War II, he took advantage of the GI Bill. He was the first person on both sides of my family to ever go to college. He decided he was not going to work in a steel mill. He wanted to get an education and teach. So he enrolled and was accepted at what was then called Eastern Michigan Normal College, which became Eastern Michigan University. And he got his teaching degree. And he got a job on the North Dearborn Heights School District, which now has been merged a couple times. I forget what district it's in now. But at the time it was the North, because that was the very edge of the suburbs back then in the 50s, very edge. North Dearborn Heights School District. And he taught 5th, 6th, 7th grades. That was his area. Well, the story goes like this. Next door to our house, my cousin built a home. And my mother decided that between her home and her cousin's home, she wanted to have a hedge. So she said, we ought to plant a hedge here. Well, you plant small plants. They're relatively cheap. Bigger ones cost a lot more money. Smaller ones going to take longer to grow. Well, fortunately for my dad, they were doing landscaping in the North Dearborn Heights School District, and they had some rather large bushes. They were about this high off the ground, good size. They would grow into a very nice hedge. And they were going to be replaced, and my dad said if he could have them. They told him, well, Joe, because his name was Joe, he says, if you want them, you come and dig them out. You dig them out, they're yours for free. So one fine Saturday morning, my dad woke me up real early. He had borrowed one of my cousin's trucks, and off to Dearborn we went. We got to the school, and with shovels we dug, and we dug, and we dug, and we pulled, and we dug. And we wrapped up these roots in burlap, and we picked them up, and they were heavy. We put them on this truck, and it was filled with all these bushes. And it was a long, hard morning of work. We got back to the house in Canton, and the work, we had only done part of the work. The next part was to dig the holes and plant the bushes. And that's exactly what we did. We spent the entire afternoon and into the evening, and it got to be about 90 degrees. Remember back there, they didn't have anything called a heat index. They didn't tell you about the ratio between the humidity and the heat. All I know, it was hot. We knew it was hot, all right? It was hot. And we worked into the evening, and we got every one of those planted. I was exhausted. So my dad said, all right, son, let's go to the garage. And in the garage, he had one of those old 1940s ice boxes. Remember those with the big old metal handle? And you probably had some in your basement, or maybe still have one. And my dad kept it in the back. That's where he kept his Stroh's beer. My dad drank Stroh's. So he pulled out 2 lawn chairs in front of the garage and came out with 2 open bottles of Stroh's beer. I was 16, and he handed me a Stroh's beer. And I sat with my dad, and I was drinking a Stroh's beer. That was my first alcoholic beverage. 16 years old, God witness. My mother comes out of the house and said, what are you doing? He's only 16. And I'll never forget what my dad said. Irene, today he worked like a man. He gets a man's drink. So here's to you, Dad. Here's to you. Now, that's not bad for your first drink as a minor, huh? All right, gentlemen, if your father, grandfather, great-grandfather, stand up, please, for you must be honored today. And if you're with them, hold their hand, put your hand on their shoulder, and everyone else extend your hands out toward them. May the blessing of God be upon you, the blessings of the Father and the Son, and may the Spirit of love be with you all your days. To all the fathers, God bless you.